Please welcome to the program, Erika Prevost.
Hello. Hi.
Hi-
Thanks for having
hi-
me.
Well, thank you for coming on. How you doing today?
I'm so good, braving the cold.
Braving the cold, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been quite chilly here in Toronto. Oh my God. Of course, I'm guess I'm guessing Saint-Pierre was shot in the summer, right?
No, it was shot all year except for summer, basically. We
Oh my
shot in
gosh.
St. John's from May till November, but took a hiatus during the summer. So we shot in the spring and the fall.
Okay, so you probably got a little bit of cold weather up there.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit. The spring was actually quite cold. It was very cold. The fall was more mild. Like the beginning, September was actually quite nice. I think their summer was stretched out a bit, but yeah, cold weather in the spring.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So for people who haven't had a chance to check out Saint Pierre yet and find out about Patty Monclerito, tell them what the show is all about and what your character is all about.
Yeah. So Saint-Pierre is this procedural whodunit mystery type drama with some comedy. And it follows two super badass detectives, Fitz and Arch, that come from completely different walks of life, and they have to learn to become partners to each other in order to solve all these weird crimes that happen on this island of Saint-Pierre and Miquelon. And my character, Patty, she's a member of the Saint-Pierre and Miquelon police force, and she's sort of the research expert. She's the youngest one on the force, and so she's not as experienced as everyone else, but she's really good at what she does, and she loves her job and often finds the missing key or a piece of the puzzle that helps Arch and Fitz move the case forward.
Hmm.
Nice. Now, Erica, I have an important question to ask about Patty.
Okay.
Um, is she over the suits yet?
Is she over?
Yeah, that's a quite a hot button topic amongst most of the
Yeah, yes.
characters, but Patty especially. Yeah,
She got over it after that embarrassing moment of realizing that Fitz actually understands French.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was actually my audition
Oh, was
scene
it?
Oh,
Nice.
really?
as well. Yeah, it was such a fun scene. Yes, she got over it after that moment. She was like, never again. And I think also she's just such a work-oriented person
Yeah.
that immediately, as soon as she saw how Fitz works and kind of gained respect for him after the first episode, he wasn't one she would mock anymore.
Yeah.
Were
No,
you
I didn't mean.
surprised that they ended up using that for all of the marketing campaign? That's like
I
in every
know.
teaser, trailer, commercial.
Yeah, they loved it. I mean, I loved it. Good.
Yeah, no, it's a great moment in the show, and I don't mean to say like that's the only thing that Patty is, obviously, because as you say, like she jumps into cases all the time. What I liked about her as I've seen her through the episodes is like how you portray her as like really excited in some cases to like give this information. It's like she kind of reminds me of that student in class that just wants to give the answer and they have because they've got the right one.
Yeah, yeah. She's so fun to play for that because she loves what she does. She's like a kid in a candy store, you know. I always use the image of like playing Tetris. Like she just loves putting these
Right.
different pieces of the puzzle and making it fit. And she also just thinks Arch is the coolest character. And that that sort of admiration for, a strong woman who's like doing her job with such grace. Um, Patty admires that a lot and she wants to be like that one day. So I think there's also a bit of like impressing Arch in there too, you know?
Right, right.
Right.
It's funny you mentioned that because I know in an upcoming episode, the one that's coming out this week, um, it's the first time that Patty gets introduced to Arch's private detective friend, and it seems like she gets even more impressed by her with her abilities to basically crack codes on that particular piece of evidence.
Yeah. I think you're talking about Veda, who's played by Aisha. And
Yeah.
yeah, she's such a cool character because she's such a hacking expert. And Patty, not to spoil anything, but she'll teach Patty a lot.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Now, I saw on the social media something that it really caught my eye was you had an Instagram clip of yourself and Jean-Michel Legal singing "Every Breath You Take" by the Police, and I felt it was very meta that you guys are playing the police singing the police.
Yeah, that's I think that's one of my favorite BTS videos, and that captures Jean-Michel and I's like our dynamic perfectly. I don't know why that day randomly we just all kept singing that song because I think it was Alan who plays Fitz that started singing that song randomly, and or no, somebody, I think we were singing it, and then he's like, you guys know that song is kind of creepy, right? Like it's like a stalker dude. And we were like, what? And we're like, what do you mean? We thought it was like a love song. And then we actually started listening to the lyrics and we're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, it is creepy. And that just became the gag of the day. And every break we had, we were like looking at the lyrics and just like breaking it down and being like, oh my God, and getting really into it. So yeah.
It is amazing how many times you hear about a song that people love or they misinterpret. I know a lot of people always misinterpret Zombie, for example. You're thinking it's about zombies, but it has nothing to do with zombies, like what you're saying
Or
here.
like this one goes out to The One I Love by REM. People use that as a love
Yeah.
song all the time. That's a song about a guy throwing away a woman, like a jilted lover kind of thing.
Yeah.
And people take it and they're like, it's a love song. They're like, that's not a love song. It's just people do it. Every Breath You Take has been used as a wedding song a bunch
Yeah.
of times as well. And it's like,
It's,
Right.
or like One by U2, which
Right.
was my older brother's wedding song. And it's like, I'm listening to this. It's like, have you guys listened to the lyrics of this? Did I disappoint you? Put a bad taste in your mouth? It's like, people need to start listening to the lyrics of songs.
Well, it's also that I feel like time has changed and we're more aware of certain things. And I think the
Yeah.
idea of romance has evolved a lot too. Like before, a man pursuing a woman despite her saying no was viewed as romantic. And now we're like, actually, no means no. And
Yeah.
so a lot of songs, I think we can see how the idea of romance isn't quite romantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, and
no,
and that's not even counting songs where we just mishear lyrics. Like the infamous, songs like was it the Jimi Hendrix song where we script the line on that. There's a bunch of them.
Excuse me while I kiss this guy instead
Yeah.
of the sky.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
So Erika, what you're learning right now is, as Andrew already knows about me, I do not remember lyrics whatsoever. I am.
Oh, he knows no
horrible.
lyrics. Yeah.
I am horrible. But if I hear the song and I can usually sing along with it, but to recall a lyric, or if he says a lyric to me, or I just right over the top of my head. I don't have memory for that.
Almost every episode, I start the show by quoting a lyric. He's only known the song once.
It's okay. You create your own lyrics. That's what I do all the time. Like my boyfriend, like he loves to call me out on this because I'm always singing a song and he'll be like, in the beginning, he would always be like, oh, I think it's actually this. And then I'd give him a look and he's like, no, you're right. Okay. I'm like, the artist made a mistake. This is actually the correct lyrics.
Of
course. I get you. I get you.
Yeah, no, you know what? I like it, Erika. You're owning it. It doesn't matter.
Yes,
This is how it
yes,
is. And
exactly.
he was smart. Your boyfriend is smart. Yes.
Smart.
Yeah. Trust me. I just learned those rules recently with my wife, and it took me a long time to get to that point. So your guy is way ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
He is. He's the best.
Oh my gosh. Now, of course, as you said, you guys shoot it in St. John's, but some of the shots are done on location on the Isle of Saint-Pierre, which is just off the coast, which is a French territory. What was it like shooting on location? Did you get a lot of on location stuff, or were you mostly in the studio?
The bulk of it was shot in St. John's in studios, but we had the first time around we had 2 weeks in Saint-Pierre, and then the second time around also 2 weeks. So we shot about a month out of the 5 months in Saint-Pierre, and it was cold. It was very cold, obviously, because we're having all of our days outside because we're there to get capture the beauty of Saint-Pierre. So it was very cold. But it was nice. People there are so relaxed. It's the typical small town, but like multiply that by I don't know, just like the small town effect by a lot. Nobody's in a rush. Everything is closed between 12 to 2. They take their lunch breaks very seriously. Sometimes things say that it's open on the website, but it's closed because they felt like taking a day off. And it's very, life takes precedent over work, which is in some way healthy. But it was a bit of an adjustment for all of us getting there. We were like, okay, this is just their pace, and we kind of just have to adapt because we're coming onto their territory.
Yeah, no,
Are you
for
happy
sure.
that you didn't have to do any half-naked sleepwalking like Alan did outside?
Oh gosh, it must have been freezing. Yeah, at night too. I am glad. Yes, I'm very glad I don't have to do that.
Yeah, no, that brave soul. I give Alan a lot of credit for that. That's a big no. I'll go outside occasionally, and even now, like the other day it was whatever with this wind chill. I think it was like minus 25 or 27 around here. But I went out in my sandals for a few minutes. But that was like on my
In your
porch.
sandals?
Yeah, just because I wear them around the house. I have instead of wearing slippers, I wear sandals around the
Okay.
house. Yeah, I just walked out onto my porch. Yeah, and it's
Oh.
fine. It's not that bad, but I don't mind the cold too much. But yeah, I got a limit. And as soon as I start, once it gets into the bone, as I like to call it,
Yeah.
once it gets in the bone, I'm done. Because then it's me in like a heated blanket. You got to you put your feet in the hot bath. You got to do all those things.
Well,
I just
you
hope
would have
you
a
get.
hard time then in like St. John's or St. Pierre because we're
Yeah,
right by the water, so it
yeah.
gets to the bones. Like it's so humid. So the
I
cold
I I was
persistent.
born in St. John's. I know.
Oh, were you?
That's why I moved. That's why
Yeah.
my family we got out. We're like, it's too cold down here.
It is, but it's beautiful. I
Oh yeah.
really fell in love with it. It really grew on me as time went on. Yeah, the hiking, so many hiking spots,
Yeah.
and the people are so amazing there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's a great place, and as you mentioned, though, like obviously Newfies are great, they're fantastic, they're my peeps, so of course I gotta rep on that. But the people of Saint Pierre, as you mentioned, they're kind of their lifestyles different than ours,
Yeah,
as it
it's
Yeah.
were, like
more like it's like
yeah, like in
France
Europe.
itself, like in
Yeah,
Europe. Yeah.
Yeah.
how did they react to you guys filming? Were they like pretty open about you guys coming in and like and excited about the fact that their town is like
Yeah.
is
Yeah, they
getting
were
features?
so open about it, and we got so many questions, and we needed a lot of background also on the show for different scenes. So it was just sort of fun to see that the some of the people doing background, we would see them in a town when we went to the coffee shop. It was actually the barista, he was doing background, or the hotel clerk, he was doing background, or all of these people. It's so small, so even us just spending 2 or 3 like weeks there, we actually kind of started to recognize faces around. It's that small.
Wow.
Yeah, my God.
It's,
Well, I mentioned it off the top that this past year, of course, a lot of people saw you pop up on The Boys as well as Tala, and
Yeah.
having a number of scenes with Karen Fukuhara as
Yeah.
Kimiko, and a couple of little fight scenes as well. What was it like shooting with Karen on The Boys?
That was amazing. That was a really exciting experience. And Karen is so sweet and like immediately personable, as soon as I got there. So the first time I got lucky as well because we had quite a lot of stunt rehearsals before going to camera. So I had the chance to kind of get to know her a bit and exchange and chat. So it wasn't, it's very quick in film. You just get there, nice to meet you, you do the scene. Um, but because of the rehearsal process, we actually got to connect a little bit, and she was so lovely. I was a little bit nervous. It's The Boys. It's so iconic. I wanted to do a good
Yeah.
job and getting there, but not just Karen, but the entire stunt team, Koi, the stunt coordinator, and the stuntables, everybody just made you feel so welcome. And that show, like I got there and I was like, I understand why it's such a success, beyond from it being so good and just entertaining and fun and important topics and all of that. The people behind it really care about what they're making, and they're really excited to be a part of this thing. And that energy just is felt. So it was really cool getting
And
to be.
looking at your, basically your body of work, the parts you've played before this. I don't think you've ever gotten to play a character with a cool scar before this.
No, no. I love that. I love that badass. And I was talking to my manager too, and I was like, I love these kind of like dark, gritty roles. And I'm cheery, bubbly. This is how I come across. So I played like some like romantic interests and a lot of those. But it was really cool getting to do the Scar. And the prosthetics team was amazing. And yeah, I loved that character. She was so badass. And I do have quite an extensive fight background. So just to be able to utilize that was really cool.
I was about to ask, like, the boys versus say, obviously we're talking about Saint-Pierre here. Like, it's two different types of shows, obviously. Like, here in the boys, you're doing like a lot of that fighting, and that's kick ass, and that's awesome. On Saint-Pierre, it's a different kind of kick ass fighting, police work thing that you're doing. I was going to ask, like, which one you prefer, but obviously if you got a fight background, like I'm guessing that getting to use it on the boys was an attractive part of that role for you compared to doing like a love interest or your standard, dramatic piece or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Even in the beginning of filming Saint Pierre, I was speaking to our showrunner and co-showrunner, co-show creator, Robina, and we just chatted, and the fact that I had fight experience came up, and she was like, "What, really?" And I kind of showed her my little fight demo. She was like, "Can you send that to me? I have to send it to show it to the team and whatnot." And so hopefully Patty gets to have some cool fight scenes as well.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing if Patty gets to throw down. That sounds good.
Yes, we all want a Patty throwdown. But in terms of like what I preferred, they're just so different. And to be able to be a part of something like Saint Pierre that's just starting up, like we're just creating the first season, and my involvement in it is obviously much larger. And so feeling like you're creating a family and creating the foundation of something is really special. But also coming into something like The Boys that's already very established as a guest is a very different feeling. But it's so cool to be a part of something that's so iconic, and that has reach. So I love both of them for very different reasons.
Yeah, well, of course, The Boys, they've got a lot of moving parts, whereas Saint-Pierre seems like you guys work centralized as a team for the majority of every episode. It's like you're all kind of there. That's the one thing that I really noticed about the show, is that the core cast is in almost every scene together. Of course, yes, Arch and Fitz are the main characters, but the rest of the team is kind of there with them for every step of the way. So that must have really made it easy for all of you guys to form like a familial bond over the course of the year.
100%. And I will say also, we started shooting when we started in the very beginning in May. We started in Saint Pierre. So before shooting in the studio in Saint Pierre, we were all flown over to, before shooting in the studio in St. John's, we were all flown over to Saint Pierre. And we were in this hotel, and it kind of felt like, university dorm room type feeling where we're all there and we're all experiencing this strange town all together, and that really made the bond go quickly. So then when we got back to St. John's, we already had a rhythm. So I think I don't know if that was intentional for that purpose. It probably wasn't. It was more probably for technical reasons that it was like that. But that really helped us bond really quickly. And I will say, like, the core, Alan, Josephine, Benz, and Jean-Michel and it just works. Like, we keep I think every interview we do, or every time we talk about it, we're just like, we love each other so much, and like we got so lucky to be able to work together. So yeah, this cast is amazing.
That's awesome. That's good, because we've heard situations where it's been the other way, where it's like people have been stuck together in a cast and they haven't gelled well. It's great when you all come together as a family. That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, for sure. And anybody who's listening who hasn't seen the show, don't confuse us talking so nicely about the show and the fact that it's it's more of a drama piece. Like, there is a darker underbelly to this story that is taking place
death, murder.
Oh yeah,
but also an overarching story. That is darker than necessarily the crimes of the week scenario.
With
I'm just
a great
amazed.
actor as your quote unquote villain. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you got a fantastic, like top to bottom, you guys got a fantastic crew. I was like really impressed because like, obviously we know about Alan. He's done tons of stuff here in Canada, but like the rest of the cast, I'm like, recognize from this, recognize, this person from that, it's like you start to see it. For you coming into that, working with so many people that, are veterans in at their own different levels, that make it easier for you as an actor coming on and just feeling more comfortable because these, all of these other actors are doing that as well, and they're just welcoming you into it.
Yeah, 100%. From all the guest stars that come onto the show every time, that's the coolest thing about, being there all the time is you get to work with so many people, and every guest that comes in, I also go on set sometimes when I'm not filming just to kind of watch and learn because like you said, there are so many veterans, and even just watching Alan work or Josephine work or all the guests that we've had, I learn so much, and everyone is so open and willing to share, so it's definitely made me comfortable every time I have a little question or whatnot. Not just actors but also crews and the directors, and everybody is so open and willing to share because they love what they do. So when you ask them questions about it, they're just excited to tell you more about it. So yeah, I've definitely been able to learn a lot from just being a part of this project.
Fantastic. Well, I got to say, I'm really looking forward to people seeing this week's upcoming episode because I got to see a screener of it. Really enjoyed where it's going. You got a little well-known bank robber sort of situation. That
He's
episode,
amazing.
yeah,
Oh, I
it's
can't
really
say
good.
yes.
That's so
He was
far,
amazing.
yeah, of the episodes I've seen so far, that's my favorite episode. So
Is
I'm
it?
really,
I haven't even
yes,
seen it yet. You've seen episode 4 before
I
me?
got a screener of it. Yeah, for some reason
Amazing.
I'm,
VIP
yeah.
treatment.
Yeah, you're gonna have to ask me where I get my hookups. That's just
Yeah, yeah, for real. We'll talk after.
all right. Well, Erika, thank you so much for coming on the program, and we look forward to more of Saint-Pierre and whatever other projects you got coming down the pipe. You're always welcome back here.
Thank you so much for having me. This was great, you guys.
No problem. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.